Let's stay with trees and things ailing. The moves to keep people out of Auckland's Waitakere Ranges to stop kauri dieback completely wiping out trees in the area have been dealt a blow. Council officials are recommending councillors vote to keep the 16,000 hectare park open when they make a decision on the matter on Tuesday. The tangata whenua of the ranges, Te Kawerau-a-Maki, is placing a Rahui, or cultural prohibition, on entering the park at an early morning ceremony tomorrow. They're urging councillors to ignore the advice of officials and vote to keep people out of the ranges. Our reporter Rowan spoke to the iwi's executive manager, Edward Ashby, who says its Rahui is about sending a message about the right thing to do.
One thing I can say is, this isn't about, fining people when they go into the bush. This isn't about people with, black singlets and folded arms standing at the entrances to tracks. There's been a bit of misinformation put out by certain members of council around, for example, that it's going to be barriers and guards and that it's going to suck up all the money that would be put into track upgrades. That's simply not true. The enforcement side of it is an element that would have to involve the central government through a controlled area notice, really, to be practical. But closure and what we're talking about is spiritual and physical, and we would hope that that council could step away from the 100% compliance enforcement sort of mentality, and simply, even just messaging that, hey, this forest is sick, and tourists coming, people coming to visit, it would be good if you didn't actually go in there while we actually do the work to upgrade it, do boardwalks, do dry paths, etc.
The council have just put out their agenda for the meeting on Tuesday, and in it the officials are recommending that they vote not to close the park and to just have more track closures. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm glad that it's only a recommendation at this point. To put it on the record, I think that those councillors and those members in that committee that made that recommendation, it would be wise of them to read Council's own June 2017 report on the matter. The very last recommendation of that report by the scientists, because we've heard them talk about, the scientists tell us it can't be done, blah, blah, blah. That report itself, which is a council report, the last recommendation advises that an independent inquiry into closing the forest be set up urgently, and that in the scientists' opinion and in the authors of that report, in their opinion, that may be the only way to control the spread of kauri dieback, both inside the forest, but also from that forest to other areas. So I don't know what scientists Penny Hulse and other councillors have been listening to, but they're certainly not the ones that wrote their own report.
Te Kawerau-a-Maki's Edward Ashby talking to our senior reporter Rowan Quinn.